Hello, hello, I am Rangru.
And I'm Graham.
We're here today with another 1v1 from Wargame Bootcamp Discord Elite/Veteran Tournament. We are on Nuclear Winter is coming, and who is playing today?
So on the left-hand side ring, in the Asian letters, and I don't want to, be wrong on that prediction there, that it's Reminiscent playing as Landshed Mechanized. And on the right, we have Cute Snake. That's quite the name right there. And he's playing as my favorite, Finpole Motorized.
Indeed, so right off the bat, pretty smart move getting that F4 to probably try to deter those, pretty obvious so-call play. You also got Super Pumas, actually two so-calls in the MI-17, so he's going pretty hot in Delta.
Yeah, I'm actually surprised with the double Sokol opening because it is against Mechanized, so it's really not as big of a threat, I think, for any major helo play. I guess it could be maybe to ward off the F4F, so we'll see. Oh, he goes in there and gets a snipe on the Super Puma.
Ooh.
Another hit goes in on the Sokol. Oh, and actually a couple Iglos come out, and one does actually hit the F4F, but the Super Puma is actually a pretty big loss there.
Yeah, so the F4, he throws missiles, he's not deterred. He's gonna come round for round two. Or not. Come on. You must know the missiles are out.
Yeah, I mean, though you probably can infer based on the amount that he saw come out. And actually, he should have vision when he comes back around here of these Sokols. Now, going too deep opens him up to a counterplay, maybe by a fighter call out here from Cute Snake. Oh no, he gets right in there, gets the other Sokols, and gets both. Ooh, and the F4F automatically paying itself off here. And another one bought out by Reminiscent. That's a lot of points in fighter planes.
Yeah, it is. I guess that was just more of an emergency buy to deal with the so-calls, get that opportunity, but now you can go for the Super Puma. But if you look up north, this is really where the main action of the match is going. We got Charioteers, Rano, the Karis, just a bunch of Finnish troops all over the place, while Reminiscent is just holding the line.
Yeah, Reminiscent's trying to hold this spot here. You see him drop the mortar, and smoke off this 2A1 because the 2A1's been engaged by the Recon T-55. We always talk about it when it's available because it is such an effective unit. We see the Charioteers trying to provide some fire support, though all the Jakari die, but so do the German reserve troops.
Yeah, and
oh, another
nasty
2A1.
And even at close range.
Wow, big pickup there by the Charioteer, the 20-pounder with the kill on the modern main battle tank. And now we see these rounds Jakari going to make a move for the town. And this is looking really good for Cute Snake.
Yeah, that's a really great momentum push so far he's managing to make, as he traded pretty effectively up north here. I guess about whether he can follow through with reinforcements. Just looking at the rest of the map. Oh, we got the hip. Trying to going a bit hot up north there. I don't know what he's trying to do. He's really just attracting ire from the F4.
Yeah, and the Flak Panzer Gepard is probably going to get into. So he's pretty much dead, I think, either direction. Either way he goes, not much value. Yeah, we see that the 35 mil anti-air shells just going all around him as he crashes into the river there.
And then just looking at the rest of the map, it's... Oh, Q-Snake's also managed to get somewhat of a foothold. It's very tentative, really. More of a big toehold in this case, with some of the Akari. So he's definitely, playing to the strengths of his deck. Moto, trying to just get some sort of grip everywhere. The problem is, it's not a strong grip.
No, in both directions, it really isn't a strong push. He is kind of going with that Moto style where you want to be aggressive, you want to flex the map, have your opponent reacting to you. And so some bluffing is kind of always required there. But there really isn't a lot of firepower for him in either direction, which can, I think, really benefit the Mechanized player because it doesn't take a lot for mech players to consolidate.
Yeah, it's very easy just to spam as infantry, and especially with him bringing out all these, cheap mod runs. Not the best IFE, but it's an autocannon for 15 points, which means it's an anti-tank threat to the majority of moto vehicles.
Yeah, almost all these XAs will get torn up by it. And the Jakari with the base law, it's not actually the greatest at killing IFVs. So even then, Martyr 1s can provide really good fire support against just base Jakari. I mean, we'll have to see where Cute Snake actually wants to set up. He's going for the quick, double cap here. Versus he's going to get, he already has Charlie. He's going to go ahead and cap India here. That's going to get him a +4 for a little bit of time, which can be decisive sometimes in these games. We do see one bought up by Reminiscent, so he'll go to +2. But he's going to have a little bit of a tick for a period of time.
Yeah, especially this motor you want to get out early on, because usually, especially against Mechanized, maybe not so much on this map, when they consolidate, it can get very hard to push. So I also just want to note, I did see an MI-17 in Alpha killed a Flak Panzer.
Yeah, I just noticed the Gepard got annihilated by the Mi-17.
He seeded that thing with, you know, some rather direct rocket attacks.
He's trying to cosplay as the SU-25T.
Yes!
And actually, we see he has a little Luke's rush here going on. Reminiscent does into Charlie, and there's not really anything in front of him. So we'll see. Okay, so the Finnish Terminators, they've been dismounted, they've been appealed, so they'll make quick work. He's going to try and get these over towards the CV, but a spy team has been unloaded, so I really don't think they're going to get anything done.
No, mainly just more of a offensive reconnaissance operation. And yeah, the Spike gonna be firing and getting easy Gucci kill.
Yeah, but I think one thing I want to point out, Rang, is just you can see here, even from the perspective of a mech deck already, is just how much stuff is starting to flood the map for Reminiscent. And even when you compare it to a motorized deck, it's just already there's 2s and 3s and these infantry groupings are coming out. This front's starting to consolidate a little bit. The north is kind of, I guess, maybe more up in the air because it's just the Panzer Grenadiers. But those Ranos aren't really going to charge the open, I don't think, so...
No, that's a very good point, and also considering every single helicopter which this very cute snake has brought out have just gotten blapped by his F4's.
Yeah.
So he's been trading pretty ineffectively in regards to his air power, and now Racine, he doesn't really have the ground units to really hold anywhere. He's just getting a very nice point advantage early on.
Yeah, and sometimes that's enough, right? You get a really big point advantage, and then you kind of loot, start trading out as the game goes on. These loots are going to push forward again, but you'd kind of like to see maybe consolidate a little bit more here, because if Reminiscent recognizes how weak, especially the southern portion of the map is for him, I mean, he could get a toehold in Delta, he could start probing into Charlie, because there really isn't much in front of him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's really just a few infantry units here, yeah. And it's, once again, all very spread out, just single units in random locations.
Yeah, because like up in Foxtrot, we can see the Panzer Grenadiers are now engaging the Rano Drakari, and while normally, one-on-one, the Ranos are going to win, that's Panzer Gren 90s and Panzer Grens put together here. And even if you trade out the base Panzer Grens as a mechanized deck, you really don't care. Because if you wipe out these special forces, it's a huge win for you.
Especially Marder 2's backing those up. I mean, they're pretty much going to be heavy tanks in this sort of engagement. So it definitely feels like Reminiscent does, start to gain that momentum, cultivate, harvest it, whatever you want to call it. And he could probably at least get back, right now, that forest between India and Foxtrot is at such a vital point to hold on to.
Harvesting that momentum.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but it's an important point, that you want to make when it comes to mechanized versus other decks, and sometimes, especially against motorized, because motorized excels when the game is fluid, right? I really feel like that's when it's at its best. When these games become, not necessarily just stagnant, but oriented on a single position, it really benefits the mechanized deck.
Indeed. The other Moto play is trying to go for Bravo CV snipe, and oh wow, the Peace Rhine completely cocks up the missiles here.
Yeah, you see that KT right there trying to play some shenanigans, but I don't think he's going to be able to get anything done. He's been spotted. But Peace Rhine, it's almost like the RNG. It kind of failed him right there, which means later on in the game it's going to connect on something important.
Oh no, he's going to hit this Fennec.
Yeah, the Fennec's getting a little messed up here.
Bit low on ammo.
He's got a fuel leak.
I don't think it's going to be much of an issue.
Someone call the EPA. He's harming the environment right now. Just leaking gas as he flies.
God.
Actually, the KT's wasting his ammo on the Fennec.
Oh yeah, because he's not going to have enough ammo to deal with M113.
No. Because I don't think the NSV can kill the M113. At least not quick.
No.
You should gun run it. You should gun run it with the Vulcan.
You really should. He just needs to get another Scout Defender out really more than that Fennec Toe too. Because he still has complete air superiority of just the Phantom spam.
Yeah, I mean, there is a new back way in the back there. It's basically, a Polish, Cub on steroids. But, we see actually opening up right here. It's the Peace Rhine's going in, so it does miss. And actually, it's seed. Everyone wants to be the SG-25T, and it comes in, and that's a nice pickup there for Reminiscent.
Yeah, that's definitely going to allow him to keep the air supremacy game to his side, and it's been working really well, especially on this map, as if you can gain the aircraft superiority. I mean, it's a very big open map. It's hard to get that AA coverage compared to something like Paddy Field, for example. And as you can see, there's constant harassment from his F4's.
Yeah, he's really asserting his air superiority right now on the map. I'm kind of surprised there hasn't been any attempt from Cute Snake to, combat it outside of his A tap. He does have a pretty potent Air Force himself with the F-18 and the Polish MiG-29s. It seems he's kind of just conceding that. But it's not like this is like turned into maybe like a ground advantage for Cute Snake. It honestly looks like Reminiscent has more firepower on the ground as well.
Yeah, and especially as motorized, you really don't want to be losing anti superiority, especially with helicopters and aircraft, because you don't really have the heavy tanks to go toe to toe in the ground. You want to be bringing up as F-18s. Oh, never gets a very good sniper on F4.
Yeah.
That's like the first proper plane to get shot down so far.
Yeah, it's a nice night for him right there to maybe try and force Reminiscent into being being careful with his planes, because so far he's been very aggressive with them. Though there hasn't been any real threat. So we'll have to see, because sometimes the AA versus playing dynamic, you understand that he says, hey, maybe I won't win in the air, or at least there's too much ground. I've given up too much space up there, so I'm going to go fully into my AA tab to try and combat it. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't work. He has left his radar on right here, which is huge because this tornado ECR is coming into this space. He's opened up right now to get the peace round, which baited and survived, even though it was hit. Now the ECR needs to connect. Oh, and
he microed it. He microed it.
He microed it really nice. And so the ECR is going to go away without any damage, but that peace round is going to be down for a while.
Yeah, definitely going to need those supplies, which is exactly what he will be bringing up. But it's quite interesting so far. We're just, 12 minutes into this match. It feels like a decent amount has gone on, but really nothing has happened at the same time.
Yeah, honestly feels like the game has been in the same spot for probably the past 7-8 minutes. Not much has really changed. We're really hyped about these air engagements right now. But we do see that Reminiscent is kind of pushing to Charlie. He has solidified Alpha. Delta is wide open. I'm surprised he hasn't really made any moves in that direction yet, so we'll kind of just have to watch it. But for right now, I think Cute Snake is content to kind of just hold his positions, consolidate it, because he does have a very sizable points lead.
Yeah, 230 to run, that is not bad. Really, yeah, for Cute Snake as well, he should also be trying to get into that Delta point just to contest it. You can just keep it as the neutral plus run zone. You set up all the Finnish spike teams to hold between Charlie. I mean, worst case is just laboratory ones. Those things go down quite quickly to good ATGMs. He can definitely afford, at this point, to just play defensive. But he needs to get a bit of a, deeper defensive line set up.
Yeah, and a big Reminiscent will be like getting enough force to make a real strong push, because that's where another hit right there from the Polish AA, which Reminiscent now is really on notice. He's lost one fighter plane. The Peace Ride was hit with 1 HP. That F4F down to 1 HP. So there is effective AA on the field. Now he does, I think, have a timing here if he wants to maybe try and do something, or I guess he might just try and build up more strength ring. But that's really where I think motorized suffers, is if you can force it into a stand-up fight, like a straight-up engagement against a mechanized deck, it's going to be really hard to stop it.
Yeah, he's really going to have to get some very good ground trades and probably try to refactor the air engagements to his advantage and start getting out some of that, juicy Finnish, Polish aircraft onto the field. Because he now has a decent anti-aircraft now if this Ito 90 doesn't just eat himself into the front line here.
He's thinking about yeeting himself, though. He's considering it. He thinks he's a tank. He can fire his Crotals at the APCs.
He wants to shoot the aircraft when they come out of spawn.
Yeah, he does. And we do see some 2A1s coming out here by Reminiscent. I like that pick and that call out for him to give him some, a little more support. But these Live Guard just getting absolutely trashed right here. The U-23 just eating them up in the open. And the Randos will make quick work here of the APCs. He's going to need some better infantry. I mean, or just more of it, I think, at least. He's going to need some more substance, Reminiscent down south.
Yeah, because it's just hammer shoot and spam. He's just trying to buff up his lines, but now have decent ground fire support here. Actually quite interesting why he decided to get 2 Fennec TOW2s, considering there's not really a whole lot of scary armor here. I mean, I don't know, maybe the Charioteer is... Well, it's quite a threatening tank. It did manage to kill Laboratory 1.
Yes, he's very scared of the Charioteers. They just prove to you they can charge your Leopard 2A1 and get that kill.
Mm-hmm.
Just forget the T-55 did the heavy lifting.
Doesn't even need a machine gun.
Machine guns aren't necessary for the charioteer. It's too hot, too strong. But I am surprised that he hasn't probed Delta whatsoever, Rank. Beyond the fact that mechanized players typically do very well in out trading in Delta in the most part against non-mechanized decks, just because of the nature of the terrain. But there was nothing there. And I get we have the God Vision, we see everything, but there hasn't even been an attempt to probe Delta. And 2-3 minutes ago, those random Jakaris weren't even in there.
Oh, that's a very good point. We're seeing a massive point stump. I think, yeah, this is more just Hammershoots for the most part being brought in down south. But you think it'd be very easy just to take 2 of those squads up north in Delta and do some reconnaissance by force. I mean, worst case, you lose some German reserve troops. What's the big deal? Oh, Leopard 2A1s, what you doing here, bruv?
Yeah, he's being way too aggressive with these 2A1s. It's going to take 2 appealer shots. It's down to 1 HP. If they can get off 1 more, okay, it's not going to. But that stops the push right there to a large extent. And unless you just keep charging it. But there's random Jakaris right here in the forest, and they get a hit right there with their appealers. And this Leopard might go down. Oh, so back to 1 HP.
Yeah. It's really sending a message here.
Well, the push has already been stopped, Ring. I mean, for the most part, because he's both 2A1s are down to 1 HP. Sure, he's got high match shooting up there, but I mean, he was a 3 HP random Jakaris to buy in a little bit of time against that. He's going to actually try and heal them here. So Salamandra is trying to go for a snipe. I think it's not going to be able to see it.
No, it's just going to be racing ammo on the APCs instead. Quite the same, because on 1 HP, it'd be a very easy kill if he could actually get a hit here. But yeah, Reminiscent deciding to really go hard into Charlie. I, get trying to get that choke point position somewhere, but like you said, Delta would be the more immediate play, because it at least stops that +1 tick, which Cute Snake is having. And I mean, yeah, it's Delta. You just throw stuff into a town and you win.
Oh, another plane just went down. I couldn't tell. The Peace Shrine goes down right there. I'm not even sure what it was trying to kill or what was remotely worth it. And this Polish AA has really paid for itself now. What once looked like total air supremacy for Reminiscent has been chipped away.
It's like Yugoslavia in the late 90s.
Yes, it is definitely. He took out the Nighthawk.
Yeah, it's quite the same here for Reminiscent, because he's really focusing. He's got another Fennec Toto. You need to be buying more, substantial ground support. More just mortars, high explosive stuff to deal with all these rather soft and squishy motorized targets here. Because these Totus is, like bringing a sledgehammer to crush a mole.
Yeah, I mean, he might have enough raw, numbers to break through this position right here. I mean, the 2A1s are getting repaired. Those will be a big help. And he's just kind of throwing... Oh, now it's Panzergear 90s he's throwing in. So not just high match shoots in. I think raw firepower-wise, he can break this position. Actually, yeah, that's what he's doing right now. And the question here for Cute Snake is how does he stop it? We see the F-18. And now this is where I think the F-18 is a bad buy. He needs ground units up in the front here to protect his position. His AA's done a ton in warding off those planes, and that's just 180 points that he really needs in Charlie.
Yeah, I mean, imagine how many charioteers you could buy for that, my man.
This honestly feels like mechanized. It's almost like the mechanized player. He's maybe hasn't traded great the whole game. He hasn't done all these things. The motorized player's been all over the place, and then it takes one stand-up engagement, and now the entire front line here is broken for Cute Snake, and there's just a train of M113s and infantry with some armor support coming in.
Yeah, Reminiscent has got his decisive battle finally, and yeah, he is just barging his way through. The F-18 was just terrible buy. It's really just screwed over his entire southern flank here. It's really going to come down to his Mi-8 to hold the entire line by himself.
Yeah, I mean, there's no AA here. There's a Flak Panzer Gepard way in the back, but the KT's not going to kill a lot. It doesn't have ATGMs. It's already out of its S80s, so it's really not a big help here. The AA is on a full evac. I think the Nua died, right? The Nua died?
Yep.
Which was, an absolute chad for being real in the game here. And so Reminiscent just needs to capitalize here. He needs to get a strong foothold in Charlie. If you can kill the CV, even better, but the decap is really important because he is still down 300 points in the game.
Yeah, that's quite a lot. I mean, at this point, he needs a solid +2, I would say, if he wants to get the victory, which, especially if his current map control, very much a possibility.
Yeah, because now this is the problem with motorized decks, Ring, is that you need substance, right? You need something to stop this breakthrough. And motorized, just the thin skin vehicles. There's no heavy armor. There's no super tank to maybe take some of the fire. He's going to have to get creative here, and I'm not sure what he's going to be able to pull out here. We see some, KTs being brought in towards Delta, but Delta is really a sideshow here. If Charlie's false for him, it's a massive loss.
Yeah, that's pretty much the game set and match there, because that's just such a huge loss at this point. There's barely any substance from Cute Snake's side. Honestly, unironically, I think the best buy here for Cute Snake, just get the IL-28. There's no anti-air. You already have air supremacy, right, apart from his F4 coming in. You might as well try to make an F-18 worthwhile by bringing in planes for the F-18 to cover.
Right. Yeah, I mean, that's not a bad idea. Maybe the nuke bomber buys you a couple minutes. I mean, these KTs, he needs those Jakaris down Charlie. I don't know why they're going to Delta here. There's no real push in there at all. And there's a CV already being brought up here. Mortar automatic's going to come up. So the F4F here might go down to the ITO 90. Okay, he misses right there the last second.
Very close. Very close. But yeah, okay, at least Q-Snake is bringing some spike teams around to flank. I mean, the one benefit for, what's it called, Q-Snake is that Reminiscent's current force is pretty bunched up together. But as we're seeing, that, sledgehammer of Mechanists and now Laboratory ones once again going in hot. They're broken through. Yeah,
so the IL has been bot rank. He's going in hot right now. We're gonna see what can this bomb here would do. This 1500, but where's he dropping it at? That's gonna be important. Flak Pants.
No, not in the Leopards.
Yeah, that's a
big L.
Yeah, it's a real bad drop there. Even the F-18 getting too close. There's the Flak Panzer opens up on it. I mean, sure, the ZU-23 is going to tear up some high Mech shoots him, but the Leopard 2A1 just said, hi, and then bye right away. Oh, the F-18 flies right over the Gepard, and it goes down.
And, there's an automatic here as well. The F-18 did nothing.
Tom Cruise was not flying that.
No. And the command troops are out.
Yeah, now the command troops in danger. The Dragonaires are on top of them right there. You can go ahead and clean that up. Leopard 2 engaging the Jakaris, which, they went to Delta here. And then now Cute Snake has a major problem. It's been a big problem for a while. But this is something that Baltic Front or motorized in general does not do well. And that's counterattacking entrenched positions. That's just something they don't do well. And he's going to have to get creative somewhere. But I really don't know where it is. Because even if it's these round Jakaris up here in Delta cutting across, he's going to kill these APCs and let Reminiscent know, hey, I'm up to some shenanigans right there.
What he needs to do now is buy a platoon of Hikaris and XA 180 KTs, use the amphibious capacity to drive right down the river, and then CV Snipe Echo.
But what about the Finnick Toes?
You just drive right past them. They're going to think you're a boat, not a tank.
Oh.
See?
I didn't know the game worked that way.
Yeah. You can be where you want to be.
Oh, the Ranners are dead.
God, there's nothing on the front line anymore here for Cute Snake. It is.
Oh no, this is
It's bad.
It's like France 1940 level. There ain't nothing right now. They're about to race to the sea.
Yeah, sea being Goaf in this case.
Yeah. Because I mean, legit, he almost could Q move into golf.
Yeah, barely any micro. I mean, he has enough Hammett shooters just to draw enough fire, and keeping the Leopard 2s alive is the only thing he has to worry about at this point.
No, because he has a CV coming up, or where is it? He had bought. Did it die or something? Was it sniped? I saw him purchase one earlier.
Yeah.
Yeah, he must have got sniped because look, he's calling another one out for Charlie now.
Yep.
Oh, automatic just trashing the spike team.
Living up to its name.
I am the tank now. Yeah, this is looking pretty much, I think. Oh, and the XA's opening up with its 50 cal on the Dragonair, so now it's exposed itself. So the +2's happening even without any CVs being capped, and now he knows there is nothing whatsoever in Delta. The CV's evacuating the dance floor right now. He doesn't want to get a law into the side. And yeah, this is looking pretty much over, I think, for Cute Snake Ring.
Indeed, we can take us to a ×2 at 15 seconds. Or 15 minutes.
Oh, 15 minutes? Okay.
Yeah.
The times 2?
Times 2. Because, yeah,
That's it.
this is...
That's
this
how you
is
know when
done.
the cast, when the game has lost hope. I don't think there's been a single time when we've gone to the +2 that it hasn't gone the way we think it is.
Indeed. Because, yeah, Reminiscent, he can very easily get a +5 now if he captures Charlie and Delta. And it's... I mean, the numbers don't lie. I mean, there's still that, like, squadron of Fennec Toe-2s. It's really... They haven't done anything. There's been nothing for them to bloody shoot. But I guess they can charge up and just finish off that Charioteer.
Yeah, they gotta do something. Oh, again, the KTs, they're trying to get to the water. They're trying to be a boat. He ain't gonna make it.
No. Oh, he made it through Foxtrot.
The boat life is not for you.
He's trying to outrun the Fennecs. He's dodging the
did he?
missiles.
Oh, he did make it.
Oh!
He's got jukes.
Oh! We just made it into a town. He probably got a blockline sight. Oh, new Cavia. What is he going for? I think he's just trying to CV snipe, but completely missed the mark.
Yeah, why would you put a bomb there when you literally had your APC right there?
Yeah.
Like, you knew it wasn't right there.
You meant to hit the places where you don't think it is. Or where you think it is. By being there.
Moving it. I don't know if that's him just trying to play mind games with him to make him think like he was close or not. I mean, SU-22 coming out here, a seaplane. It's kind of just, I think, an admittance that there's really nothing left he can do. I mean, Golf's going to get taken out at this point.
Yeah, it's always really funny with, like, these mechanized, motorized matches. Even though it's just Wargame, and both sides have the same amount of income, like, there's much less deck variation compared to SD2. Like, there's still such a huge difference in momentum with just how motorized plays compares to Mech.
Yeah, it's a completely different play style. Mechanized decks are, I think, much more user-friendly for the most part. Though Finpole motorized on this map as well, I think it's a very strong pick. The problem is you have to still have substance, right? Like the Cute Snake, the F-18 buy was really bad, I think. Like that right there, he bought that at the worst possible time because the attack, which was kind of ghetto from Reminiscent, went in right as he bought that plane. I remember saying, like, why are you buying that plane? The new one just shot down 2 planes, and you don't even need it anymore. And the front was gone by that point.
Mm-hmm. It really just needed some more substantial carry infantry, maybe some charioteer spam and spikes from the side. I mean, that one Salamandra was doing, like, pretty good just warding off Leopard 2s.
Yeah, and you also have good infantry. Like, you have good infantry in Baltic Front motorized. So you have good transports in the KT. You can, one thing we didn't see that we saw, was it MBK using the Bootsy, right? Like, you have nice standoff infantry for cheap that you can put out to maybe hold your flanks and buy yourself more time. Those are just things we just didn't see, I think, from Cute Snake. And the KD really reflects how the game went.
Yeah, pretty much the double KD, but once again, Mechanized slowly builds up, and by God, it can be quite a scary force to reckon with if you're just not prepared.
Yeah, absolutely. And it just shows you right there that Mechanized, that substance really does matter, right? You have so much on the map, and even if you weren't, because I don't think that Reminiscent was trading that much better than Cute Snake by around that point. I think it was a little bit better. We've got to remember the Super Pumas did all get taken out with their infantry by the F4F, so it wasn't the F4s weren't getting some value through the course of the game there, but it really was like, the dam broke and then there was no stopping it.
Mm-hmm. No, yeah, because Reminiscent did make some, like, questionable plays, like all the Fennec Toe-2s defenders and just Harry's, like, Micro and his Leopard 2s, but with Mechanized, your baseline units are usually cheaper and, a bit more armor, you can afford to make mistakes like that. Where Cute Snake, you move a F-18 over the wrong piece of map. Maybe a super fancy Generation 4 fighter, doesn't matter, it's going to go down.
Yeah, absolutely. And it just shows you, as much as the airplay is important in the game, as much as it can be, nice to look at, like when we cast, like, oh, look at the plane shoot something down, right? Those small little engagements on the ground are typically what dictate who's going to win or lose.
Indeed. But do you have anything else to say, Mr. Graham?
No, I'm all it, Mr. Rang.
Okay, and we'll leave it here. Thank you very much, guys, for watching. And as usual, please just take it easy.